We theory crafted this a bit the other day. Like I don't have the exact numbers with me at the moment, but basically it allowed us to change something for more attack or more crit damage. And then with Cat's Case and a 6-star Crushing Rend, we were able to get above the 100% defense ignore.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video. We got to talk about the Cat's Gaze and the Hatter's Reserve. Now, these two relics are a limited time that we're going to be able to get, and they seem good. But the question that we're going to be answering today is, how good are they, and do we really want them? To basically help me out to understand what's going on here, I brought in Bick. I had to bring in the big guns. Bick, what's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm good, dude. Thanks for having me again.
Thanks for coming on, brother. All right, so we are, we're all going in for these events, and we're going to be getting through this Titan T-Path event. We're going to be getting both the Hatter's Gaze, the Cat's Gaze, sorry, and the Hatter's Reserve, right? But how good are these? Let's kind of break it down and explain to me as a new player, what am I looking at here? So let's start off, I guess, with the Hatter's Reserve. When I looked at this, it just looked like a whole word salad, right? It says, wearer receives 5% less damage from enemies whose attack is lower than the wearer's, and then also inflicts 5% more damage to enemies whose max HP is lower than the wearer's. I don't know. I don't get this. Like, where am I going to use this?
This relic is low-hanging fruit. Let's talk about how you acquire this relic first. So, basically, when you are participating in some of these events, Plarium has been giving them out as a guaranteed reward, which is nice of them, because to me it basically means I just got a chicken for one of my relics, and that's nice because these chickens for relics are kind of not easy to obtain at the moment because it's still a new mechanic. Now, why am I calling this a chicken? Well, that's because I am obtaining a lot of these, and I'm obtaining more of these than I will ever want to be using. And the reason why I'm saying this is because this relic is already outclassed for the majority of the champions that you want to be using this on. So this is not the type of relic that I'm going to be using in the long game.
Let me ask, just so people have an understanding of the champions, what's like one specific champion that this would be useful on?
Gizmak.
Gizmak. Okay.
Gizmak. Yeah. So I'm already straight out of the bat. I'm naming one of the most sought after mythicals, who most people will probably never obtain. But Gizmak is the type of champion that would love a relic like this. And why is that? Well, Gizmak scales with everything. His base form wants attack, you want crit damage for both forms. His second form scales off with HP and defense. And this is where we start looking at the Hatter's Reserve. And we see that in the first slot, it gives a bunch of HP. In the second slot, it gives attack. And in the last slot, it gives very, very little crit damage. It is so small how much crit damage it gives. Now, what is also interesting is the amount of text that is maybe like difficult to understand at first when you read it.
It is.
Yeah, so basically we have a damage reduction if your attack-based champion, so if your nuker has more attack, then it takes 5% less damage from an opponent. And if we max this out, it's 1%, 1%, 1%, and we've already established in previous videos that 1% is the smallest incremental gain on these relics. So you would have to max it out all the way to max level, which is absolutely insane how much resources go into this, for an 11% crit damage increase, which is very minimal. And then you take 10% less damage if your nuker gets attacked by somebody who has less attack than your nuker. So this already means that if I have a defense or HP based, or nowadays we have with the cat speed based and the rabbit a speed based nuker, this entire clause already does not apply to them because I'm not building attack on a defense or HP based nuker, right?
Right.
So it has a second clause where it says you inflict a percentage more damage, up to 10%, to the enemies whose max HP is lower than the wearer's. So if I have more HP on my nuker, I'm inflicting more damage. So this is interesting for HP-based nukers, right? So your Narcies. This is a stopgap solution because I'm looking for crit damage, and it's already outclassed in the relic department because there are relics that simply give me more percentage damage than the Hatter's Reserve. And I also need to max rank it. So I think this relic is a trap. I think Gizmak is one of the few champions that can properly make use of it. Rotos is another example because Rotos works on both attack and HP. However, people usually tend to build Rotos for either high HP or low HP, depending on the other relics they have currently, which are also in the game. So we're already stating that, yeah, you can use this on Rotos depending on if you're building him for lower high HP. But that depends on if you have a certain other relic that is already in the game. So we're already saying that, hey, there's another relic that we can obtain at all times that is better than the Hatter's Reserve for Rotos. For the people interested, the relic I'm talking about is the aspect of Siroth, which is a legendary relic in the standard group. But maybe that's one for another video.
Yeah.
So another reason why I don't like this one for Rotos is because there's currently a build going around where you're basically building Rotos with high attack, low HP for aspect of Siroth because the relic stacks with his passive. But if I look at Hatter's Reserve, so if I'm building Rotos and I want to use this relic, and I want to build him with low HP, high attack for that passive abuse, then the first thing the Hatter's Reserve gives is a crap ton of HP. 6,000 HP is quite a decent amount. So it already feels kind of counterproductive to what I'm trying to do because I'm trying to get Rotos his passive to trigger.
Would you consider this just either taking this as a damage mitigation or just a damage increase? Because the way I'm looking at this right now is like, well, I'm either going to take one or the other. Am I going to take the 5% less damage for, going up against a Taras on my attacker? Or am I going to go with more HP towards, my Taras or my Narcissus?
Yeah, I think this relic should be reserved for the HP nukers. The attack-based nukers, I think, if we're looking at Arena, for example, you're already flipping a coin who has more speed half of your matches, right? Mm-hmm. So you're already contesting that. Now, if you're using this relic, you're not only contesting speed to make this work on an attack-based nuker in Arena, you're also contesting on whose champion has more attack. Now, if you're up against a 9k attack Siegfried, I wish you good luck. I also don't think the HP is gonna matter if you're against a 9k Siegfried, So for a champion like Siegfried himself, this could be interesting because most likely Siegfried's gonna have more attack than whatever he's facing. Okay. So, but here comes the problem. If we're talking about mythical champions like Siegfried, you're not going to be wanting to put this relic on them because there are already better relics in the game. So I think this is a stopgap relic. This is one of those relics where, okay, I ran out of relics or I don't have the relic I really want to put on the champion yet, so I'm going to just put this on to just have something on it. I am basically using these as high-level chickens. I kept like 3 of them because they are so easily to get at the moment if you're doing the events and you're winning like the tournaments and stuff, because the epic material kind of sucks. You know, you're probably gonna get an epic or a rare out of it, and if you get an epic, the only event group epic in the game at the moment, because basically how it works is you roll which group you're getting a relic out of, and then the game determines the rarity. But basically, you have a realistic chance at getting an event group relic, and the moment you hit an event group relic, this is basically the only one you can hit at the moment. So, assuming that in the future they will be adding more relics to the event groups, and that the event relics do not get taken away from us, as you can see at the moment. You have the categories in the top with like one being a question mark, and then you have a bunch of hidden ones. This was designed with longevity, so they plan on adding stuff in here instead of taking stuff out. Otherwise, we wouldn't have all these hidden things. We would only see the cat's case and the Hatter's Reserve. Basically, in the future, I fully expect that obtaining Hatter's Reserve and cat's case will be more difficult, because it is very likely that they will be adding additional relics to the event group, just like how we have the Chimera and the standard group.
Right. I think there's going to be 10 more coming because it looks like the slots here have 10 more, and I'm guessing some of them might be rares. But
Yeah.
so the takeaway from this is going to be for the Hatter's Reserve, just put it on your HP based nuker and kind of leave it that way, right? Don't worry about trying to make it work both ways. Cool.
Unless you have like something like a Gizmag and you're like have the gear to use him in both forms, or like some sick friend, and you don't have a better relic yet, then like I think this relic is it's just too awkwardly wording for itself to be useful.
All right, let's talk about the big boy now. The cat's gaze, right? Everybody's been going crazy for this. I have probably crafted like 6 or 7, and I've yet to get one, but where it ignores 10% of the target's defense when attacking enemies with higher max HP. It gives us crit damage, attack, and defense. All right. I think every nuker basically wants this. Am I mistaken?
I think this is the best relic in the game currently that you can obtain, because I don't think anyone has the gems to basically make any of the other relics better than this at the moment.
Where would we use this? Is it PvP or PvE or both?
Both.
Okay.
First of all, you get on the very first stat upgrade, you get a massive 40% crit damage. So you're going to be seeing people push beyond 400% crit damage on their champions with this relic.
That's
which
crazy.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Now, on top of that, it has, I would say, the perfect combination of gems. It has double triangle being the damage-based gems, and it has a single rounded gem slot. So this means that I can put in that my turn meter decrease or increase effects are more efficient, while putting in 2 triangle ones. Now, I believe this is one of 2 relics in the entire game that can have 2 triangular gems in them, and the other one is a mythic.
Yes,
The Stormcaller,
which I actually have on my Alaz.
Yeah. So now if we compare this one to the Stormcaller, they both give 40% crit damage increase. They give the same amount of attack increase. This one gives defense, but the other one gives speed. Now, obviously, speed is more valuable than defense. However, you have to max it out first. And the fact that one is a mythical relic and the other is a rare, a legendary. Yeah. And the legendary we can obtain guaranteed in what looks to be one of the best Titan events we've ever had. Everyone should be going for this.
Right.
Everyone should be going for this. So to give you an image of how broken this is, I personally compare this to having a second 6-star crushing rant on your account, on your character.
Wow.
This, for the simple fact that, like, the crit damage and the gems are already amazing, but on top of that, if you have this one maxed out, it will ignore 20% of a target's defense if they have higher max HP.
Trunda, here I come.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Trunda, here I come.
This is not the best relic for Trunda, by the way.
Really? Okay.
Which yeah, this is not the best relic for Trunda, which is kind of insane. The best, yeah, but maybe that's for another video. But basically, for your Thors, for your Oshiros, this is very hard to beat, and I have been very lucky and blessed to have a streamer friend by the name of Airfern2, who always scams the shit out of me by rare taxing me during 2x pull events, no matter what type of shard it is. But he made up big times by crafting me a cat's gaze.
Wow.
And I've won all the tournaments so far, and I've crafted a lot of these. So that's also the reason why I'm confident in saying that for me, Hatter's Reserve is a chicken. For the people at home, make sure you keep 2 of them. But I have 2 cat's gazes now, and this allowed me to join the 1 billion club in Nightmare Hydra.
Wow.
And
insane.
It is absolutely ridiculous.
So who do you have this equipped on?
I have this equipped. I have this equipped on Toshiro and on my Thor. And I kind of messed up because I had my feral in the incorrect gear. But basically, it doubled my damage almost in Nightmare Hydra.
Just this relic doubled your damage.
Yeah, I have 2 of them, so yeah.
So on both of them, but yeah, okay.
On both of them, yeah. But the Toshiro went absolutely. His damage skyrocketed. His damage literally doubled by having this equipped. I don't even have the gem slots. Like, I don't have enough triangles to fully like equip it, and the ones I have weren't amazing. But simply by the fact of having a cat's gaze equipped on him. Now, I will have to say that my cat's gaze is currently at plus 12, which is probably a bit ahead of the curve for what people will have at the moment. But that's because I have been using my Hatter's Reserves as chickens as well, because I have so many of them.
All right, so I'm not calling for this, but do we think it's too OP that Plarium might come back and nerf it?
No.
Okay.
No, because I think what Plarium did is they basically they're giving us one for free in a Titan event, right? It's not free. You have to work for it. But what they're doing is they are setting up that the event group for Relics down the line is going to be incredibly interesting for you to always consider winning your tournament brackets. And at the moment, we have a champion chase going on, and I am still considering dumping money and smashing that group, not because of the champion that's in it. I don't care about the champion. I don't care about the cat, but I care about the fragments to have an additional chance at obtaining another cat's gaze.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
That's how good this relic is.
Wow, that is absolutely insane. So essentially, they've made it with this, and if you have like a 6-star crushing Ren, along with Savage or Lethal Gear, we can get to almost 100% ignore defense on bosses.
We theory crafted this a bit the other day. Like, I don't have the exact numbers with me at the moment, but basically it allowed us to change something for more attack or more crit damage. And then with Cat's Gaze and a 6-star crushing rend, we were able to get above the 100% defense ignore. So you are massively increasing your damage. And I think, again, Plarium will not nerf this, because what this allows them to, this is adding that beloved RNG, because this is the chase relic. So down the road, we might see relics that are not as good as this one, but it won't matter because you're still going to be gunning for those tournament wins to get the crafting materials, to get event group relics, simply for the fact that the cat's gaze exists and is in this group.
Okay. Really interesting. Really just, I think we need to have a discussion about how they ignore defense now, and do we even need decreased defense on the teams with all of this that's come into the game? But this is, so the 20 straight ignored defense is huge. I didn't even think about it that way. I was just like, okay, cool. 10% ignored defense and extra crit damage.
Yeah, so just imagine you have a champion that brings weak and decreased defense. You have a 20%, so that's like decreased defense is, from the top of my head, was it 50 or 60%?
50%. 50%, yeah, I believe so.
50, yeah. Decreased attack is 60, I believe. So that's 50% decrease defense already. If you max this one out, that's another 20%. If you have crushing rand, you're basically already, and then if you have the, what's it called, the mastery, the helm smasher.
Yep.
Yeah, so that adds like another 50% chance of ignoring 25% of the defense.
Plus, or if you take Slayer set.
But like without any sets, like just by having the crushing rant and having like enough levels on the boss, having Cat's Gaze maxed out and bringing a decreased defense, a big one, you're basically already there. That's how insane this artifact is.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. I hate dry January. I really wish I could go for more of these. But damn, I guess, guys, if you have the chance to go for him now, go for him now, because the pool will get watered down and we don't know how bad they're going to be, or maybe how good. We don't really know. But with that said, Vic, again, thank you so much for taking the time to break down all of these relics and just letting us know how useful they are, and suggestions of the champions to use them on. Guys, if you already haven't, make sure you follow Vic over on YouTube and Twitch. The links to both of those channels will be in the pinned comment below. Join us every Sunday, 2 p.m. EST, for the Knights of Teleria podcast, where we dive into the world of Raid Shadow Legends, discussing everything from free-to-play strategies to pay-to-win insight, and covering the journey from early to mid-game. Whether you're a newbie or a seasoned player, we have something for everyone. Don't miss out on the Knights of Teleria podcast, the only podcast for Raid Shadow Legends. All right, as always, I got to get a shout-out. What you got for me?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me as usual. I'm going to shout out, and I think everybody knows him, but I still want to do it. I'm going to shout out Final Kenpachi.
You seriously not following? Unbelievable.
He is such a fun person. He always has like positive energy and stuff. And the sheep counter he introduced for when he streams Live Arena is absolutely hilarious, and I think everybody should be checking him out. He can also be found on the YouTube, and in general, I think he has very good insights on what defense to go for and which not. So definitely check him out.
Agreed. And he also fits in a duffel bag, if you didn't know that. So you could ship him clear across the country in a duffel bag. That's how tight he is.
All right, maybe I need to go to Turkey and buy me a copy then.
As always, guys, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well, be good to each other, and I'll catch you guys next time.